I received such a beautiful response to my video about the unmistakable sign that my solar plexus work was working. And I read all the comments. I thank you so much for the comments because you helped me see, and I'm looking at it right here, what might be needed next. And so the fact that this video got the most views I've ever had on any video I've posted, and it got the most comments, I figured there might be something more here. And there was one comment in particular where someone said, I'm doing lots of healing work, some involving chakras, and I have no idea if what I'm doing will help yield results. Feeling a little lost. And it made me think, I just did a lot of really great solar plexus chakra work. And so maybe it's worthwhile creating a video to say what I did. So that's what this video is about. I'm gonna go through my little process. Step one is about noticing that you even need to do any work. This came up for me because I had been at a 9-to-5 job for over 20 years, and I recently quit the 9-to-5 to start my own business. And my own business is going to be coaching. I'm currently in coaching training, and I'm going to be charging for my coaching time. I had something uncomfortable bubbling up in me about charging for my time. I was like struggling with that. And it made me feel like there was something around worth and self-worth and my value. And those are the types of things that I associate with the solar plexus. Like I was lacking confidence in charging for my time. And so noticing when there is something uncomfortable inside of you and making the connection. Sometimes it's good to go to the chakras, like is this associated with a certain chakra? I personally like to do that if it can be associated, because then step two was I always go online and I do tons of research on the subject. I try to familiarize myself with things around self-worth and confidence from a psychology standpoint. I Googled solar plexus healing, solar plexus balancing, weak solar plexus. What I do is I look at a bunch of different sources and I start to notice trends and themes. And what's really important is I'm paying attention to the words that are really calling to me. So what I did was I start to take notes. And so, for example, the words that were calling to me were self-esteem, worthiness, ability to advocate for myself. And then I start looking at what are the types of things you could be doing to improve this and work on this and balance the solar plexus chakra. So for that chakra in particular, it's a lot about deep breathing. There was also affirmations, and I started formulating affirmations that were relevant to me. So like, I stand up for my beliefs and needs. I am capable. I notice my limiting thoughts and release them. I can access my potential and I am unafraid of it. So affirmations are a really powerful thing to bring in, and we got to do these things consistently. So saying the affirmations every day, doing breath work every day. And for the breath work, I'm also talking about like just noticing throughout my day when I'm shallow breathing and taking a deep breath. Just one deep breath. It doesn't have to be holotropic intensive breath work. This is like practical stuff that I was doing every day. And I think that's the key, is like making it consistent and keeping the solar plexus work like center of mind. And another area that leaked into was in my yoga practice the other day. So in class, before we started, the teacher asked, is there anything anyone wants to work on today? And everyone was quiet. And I said solar plexus. So she incorporated high intensity things. And that's a way of activating the solar plexus. So any opportunity I get, I'm grabbing it. I also think saying things out loud has been helpful for me. So saying my affirmations out loud, as I just did, I think it's easy to just read them in our minds, but I think there's also power, and you're bringing in your personal power, saying them out loud. And that's really it. It is noticing that there's something to work on, doing the research on what you're feeling called to, that it's associated with, and then what in the research is calling to you. And then I started looking into the actual practices that can anchor you in your solar plexus balancing work. That's it. I hope this was helpful. If you have things that you've worked on that have been really great for your solar plexus, another one is that I researched was somatic work. Could be very helpful as well. So I'd love to hear any tactics that you've done, especially if you have a very strong solar plexus that you've worked on in the past and got it to strengthen today. It would be awesome to use this video in the comments as a resource for any websites that you found that were really helpful, and practices, and maybe even other YouTube videos that have been helpful. I'd love this to be a go-to place where people can find that. That's it. I really hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments.